All right, let's get right into it. The last week of February 2026, well, it wasn't just another week in tech. It was a genuine turning point. It's what insiders are now calling the Great Reality Check. The moment the AI honeymoon officially came to a screeching halt, and the real, hard work truly began. So, what does a paradigm shift actually cost? Well, back in February 2026, the price tag was apparently $1 trillion. Yeah, that is the mind-boggling amount of value that got vaporized from the traditional software sector in a sell-off people are now calling Black February. But look, this wasn't just some random market panic. It was the sound of a business model that's been around for 20 years just shattering. The whole seat-based subscription model, the very foundation of software as a service, it basically became obsolete overnight. And the big question we have to ask is, why? So this story, this trillion-dollar implosion, it isn't really about failing companies. Not at all. It's about a fundamental, deep-down technological disruption that completely changed the rules of the game for everybody. Let's take a look at what actually caused it. And here it is. This is the wrecking ball. The force behind all that market chaos is a totally new kind of artificial intelligence, one that doesn't just talk to you, it acts for you. This is the dawn of what we're calling the Agentic AI era. Okay, so let's break this down because this is the key difference. For the last few years, right, we've all been living in the chat era. AI was this cool tool, you'd access it in the cloud, and it was great for creating content. But the agent era, it's a whole different ballgame. These agents don't just chat, they automate entire processes. And they don't just live in the cloud, they actually run tasks locally, right where your data is. And that leads us to this really crucial idea of the sovereign agent. You see, unlike a chatbot that you hit through an API, a sovereign agent can reach out and touch the very infrastructure your business runs on. It operates right where your data lives, which gives it the power not just to suggest things, but to actually do them. And that, right there, is the game changer. You know, this shift to agentic AI, it's not just some software update. It's creating entirely new battlegrounds for power, and it's pulling in global governments and totally rewriting the rules for the hardware industry. For example, Washington, D.C. is suddenly a massive player in all this. The McGAULEY Labs briefing notes that when the Pentagon labels a top AI company like Anthropic a supply chain risk, which is basically them saying they're worried about foreign influence over the tech, it instantly creates what they call a sovereign risk profile. And all of a sudden, national security starts dictating which AI tools are safe for businesses to use, sending these huge shockwaves through the private sector. Now, building out this new kind of infrastructure, it takes massive investment, and it takes support. And speaking of support, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, oldglory.com. They're a family-owned business, and they have over 300,000 officially licensed items. You can use the promo code IMAGINOR to get 15% off. Okay, now let's get back to the second major power struggle, the one happening with the hardware. Because this power struggle is absolutely happening at the hardware level too. For years, Nvidia has had like a near monopoly on the chips that power AI. But here's the plot twist. Meta just threw down a staggering $100 billion in capital expenditure to AMD, Nvidia's main competitor. This isn't just a big purchase order. This is a declaration of independence. So, with all this chaos, all this massive investment, you'd think every company out there is just printing money with AI, right? Well, maybe not. Let's take a look at the sobering reality of what's actually happening on the ground. And here it is, the gut punch from a February 2026 report by ILSC Labs. Only a tiny 5% of companies are seeing substantial, large-scale ROI from all their AI spending. And a whopping 60%, they report little to no financial impact whatsoever. The hype, it seems, is still miles and miles ahead of the actual, reliable results for most businesses. And this chart just illustrates that divide perfectly. What you're seeing is the percentage of S&P 500 companies in each sector that are even mentioning a quantifiable impact from AI. And as you can see, it's completely dominated by information technology. The real-world impact is still incredibly concentrated. It hasn't spread out everywhere yet. And then you got the security reality check. This new Internet of Agents creates this vastly bigger attack surface. I mean, in this new world, a single AI error isn't just a badly worded email. It could be a financial agent miscalculating a huge trade, a logistics agent rerouting an entire fleet of trucks to the wrong place, or a database agent accidentally corrupting a critical file. These are errors that can cascade and cause real, widespread physical world disruption. So, after all that, what does this all mean? Where are we headed? It means the focus of the entire industry is shifting away from just dreaming about what AI can do to the hard, unglamorous work of actually making it function safely and reliably. And this quote from McGAULEY Labs just nails it perfectly. The exciting part of AI isn't the poetry you can get from a chat box anymore. It's the plumbing, the infrastructure, the security, the hardware, all the stuff being built in data centers and being argued about in defense briefings. So yeah, the era of pure AI hype is over. The market is finally doing something healthy. It's demanding proof. Proof of efficiency, proof of compliance, proof of security, and most importantly, proof of a return on investment. By the way, all the references for this breakdown can be found at mcgauley.news and imag-nari.com. Don't forget that hyphen and the 2 I's at the end, which really just leaves us with one final and pretty critical question. The agentic age isn't some far-off future. It's here, right now. Is your business ready for it? Hey, if you found this breakdown valuable and it caught you thinking, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more deep dives coming on the tech that's shaping our world. Thanks for watching.